Well, 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 here's a surprise. Surprise, surprise, surprise. It looks like James Gunn, the director of The Suicide Squad and Guardians of the Galaxy and a host of other movies, James Gunn has been named in a lawsuit. Now, guys, if I had to ask you, what do you think that lawsuit had to do with? Based upon what we know of our good friend James Gunn, what do you think he's involved in a lawsuit for? Don't make me say it. I know you guys know. We're going to talk about it. This is the gospel according to Mark with a C. He is I and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. And guys, you might remember a little over a month ago, I did a video called The Suicide Trailer Shows That James Gunn Has Not Changed Much. Okay? I was probably like the only one who did a video like that. When I saw the trailer, where everybody else was talking about how it looks so good and you can't wait to see it, and some people were saying it looks so fucking corny and we don't want to see it, but I was among the only one, if not the only one, who pointed out that scene with Weasel where he said that he had killed 27 children. And I did a whole video talking about how that shit was out of line. I don't want to hear that type of joke from James Gunn based upon what he's already been into. And, you know, his reputation is a little bit sketchy as it is. So why, with his first, like, really high profile outing, would he go straight back to doing what he said he doesn't do anymore? You know? So I pointed it out. Now here we have, you know, this story that's come out is being reported by our good friends Bounding Into Comics that James Gunn has been named in a lawsuit involving pedophilia. What? I can't believe it, you say. Well, yeah, I think we kind of know this is how this dude gets down, right? So let's see what it says here. Like I said, big shout out to Bounding Into Comics. It says here, Suicide Squad director James Gunn named in a lawsuit for hosting a pedophile-themed party. Now, we saw some of those pictures back when, you know, this story broke like a couple of years ago. So we saw the guy, you know, he was dressed up like a priest. He was surrounded by a big bunny rabbit, you know, one of those creepy-looking bunny rabbits. And some women dressed up like little girls who were, they looked like they were probably like in bondage or something like that, you know. Totally out of line. But, you know, this is their idea of a party. This is how these people get down, guys. You know, this is fun to them. You know, so anyway, it goes on to say, the Suicide Squad director James Gunn has been named in a lawsuit against mindless self-indulgence lead singer James Uringer, a.k.a. Jimmy Urine. Oh, that's nice. For hosting a pedophile-themed party. In the summons for the lawsuit obtained by Human Events, an anonymous woman accuses Uringer of sexual assault, battery, and abuse of a 15-year-old girl, which occurred for nearly 3 years. It further details that Uringer groomed and manipulated the plaintiff into believing that his sexually assaultive behavior was not criminal and that by engaging in sexual activity with him, the plaintiff was actually helping to protect younger girls from sexual assaults. Holy shit. Listen, guys, that's the typical MO. This is what I was talking about in the video that I did years ago about James Gunn. Hollywood is freaking drowning in predators. You know what I mean? James Gunn is an insider. He knows this. You know, so to be posting these jokes consistently on Twitter, I found to be unforgivable. Everyone was like, well, there's no proof that he was doing anything. No, but you're joking about something that you know your business. That's like a priest, you know, joking about child abuse. You know, knowing the reputation, unfortunately, of those bad apples within the church. You know what I mean? This is not an indictment of the church. I went to a Catholic school when I was growing up, and I like to think that I got out of there untouched. But anyway, like I said, so it's not like that. But what I'm saying is it's about the same level of appropriateness if you saw that type of thing happening, right? So it says here, during that 3-year period, Uringer repeatedly sexually assaulted and molested the plaintiff, the summons proclaims. In a section of the summons titled Uringer, and I know I'm probably mispronouncing it, but you know, Uringer or whatever is a self-identified and self-promoted pedophile. He's a self-identified and self-promoted pedophile. Okay, this is the type of person you're going to invite to your pedophile party, even though that's not how you get down, right? Even though he's self-identified. and self-promoted. The Suicide Squad director James Gunn name comes up right there. The summons reads, knowledge and reports of Uringer pedophilia continue to circulate to this day. Recently, pictures of Uringer's wife, Chantel, and a man wearing a masked, full-body rabbit suit at a pedophile-themed party surfaced publicly. Upon information and belief, the man wearing the rabbit suit is Uringer. The party was hosted by director James Gunn, and upon information and belief, attendees to the party were encouraged to dress like pedophiles and abuse victims, such as children. Not only is Gunn referenced, but a picture from the party included in the summons under Exhibit C features Gunn dressed as a priest posing for the camera. A lot of us saw that picture. The image was shared to social media back in 2018 by then Daily Caller contributor Ian Miles Chong. And he goes on to say, I wish I never defended James Gunn. Yeah, okay. Then they have a picture of it. Maybe I'll use it for the thumbnail, maybe not. But the actual article will be included in the description, so you can check it out yourself. All right, so anyway, it goes on to talk about, you know, the history of James Gunn and his kind of fucked up reputation here, you know what I mean? And back then, I remember James Gunn had to get on the defensive, and he made all of these statements talking about how the guy that he used to be back then when he was making those jokes, he was just making them to get a rise out of people. I remember when I went in on him, I had a couple of people in the comment section talk about, you don't understand dark humor. Obviously, there's something wrong with you. Get the fuck out of here. Sometimes, if it walks like one and it talks like one, then it is one, okay? Like, there are kids involved. We all know Hollywood, like I said before, they unfortunately have a reputation for being full of predators. Can we afford to take this type of chance by just saying, oh, it's just jokes, when you know that kids every day are being victimized by this industry? You know, I think not. So I spoke out about it. And, you know, come to find out, yeah, you know, most of us, our moms told us, you can tell a lot about a person by the people he keeps around himself. This person is self-promoted and self-proclaimed a pedophile. You know, and he's at James Gunn's party. So what would I do about this? Well, I wouldn't do anything. This is just talking about what's going on here so we can understand. These people are of a culture entirely different than everybody else. You know, this is how these people get down, a lot of them. Unfortunately, Hollywood is a very sick place. And if they're running parties like this, you best believe they're running parties like this that are partially at least supported by the money that we put into this industry and into their pockets. So sometimes you have to think about these things, you know? I talked about on the last Dark Council about separating the art from the artist. And I remember my brother Fatal J saying, well, how can you do that when you know this guy is a certain way? Fatal's got a point, you know? Sometimes the art and the artist, you can't separate them. Sometimes you have to really think about what you pour money into. I didn't actually pay money to see the Suicide Squad, but nonetheless, you know what I mean? We really have to think about these things that we do here. So yeah, anyway, it just goes on to list some of the statements that James Gunn made, talking about how he's a different person. And he says, my days of saying something just because it's shocking and trying to get a reaction are over. That's what he said in part in a tweet that he made years ago. Well, that joke that he made with the Weasel, that was a joke made to get a reaction and shock. So like I said in the other video, he hasn't changed all that much. He's surrounded by these people. And after a while, you got to start looking at him with the real side eye, guys, and just thinking to yourself, yo, this dude, man, this dude, you know, he's not being charged with anything, but I'm just saying he's part of that environment in which a 15-year-old girl was victimized, allegedly, okay, by someone who self-proclaims to be a pedophile, you know? So, like I said, after a while, you just got to really think about these things, guys, because we're putting money into this. So I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of information, just let you know, inform you about what's going on here, and, you know, just something to keep an eye on as we move forward and all of these people support this guy and keep giving him more and more chances to do his thing and, you know, to make these movies and all that stuff. I ain't calling for cancellation. I'm just saying, now we know. And knowing is half the battle. You know what I'm saying? Do with that information what you will. Anyway, guys, get in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about all of this. As always, you can like, you can share, and you can subscribe. Catch me on Twitter. If not, I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for listening, guys. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.